Hello everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the likes. Continue commenting. Continue sharing, guys. I appreciate the love. I appreciate everything. This is Musawo Moomo and I am your girl for anything pregnancy, labor, puerperium, pregnancy tips, motherhood tips, newborn care, breastfeeding tips, mom conversations. All of it will be here on my channel, Musawo Moomo. Please share my videos. So today I wasn't ready to talk about this, but after my previous video about menstruation and the menstrual cycle last time, I received a message. I received a DM on my Instagram, and this person asked, Wama Musawo, is it okay to have sex during periods? Some people said it's okay, and my boyfriend doesn't mind it. What do you think? Hey, guys, okay, of course, like I said, we shall have conversations, we shall learn, we shall talk about anything relating to women's health and menstrual health. If we can't talk about menstrual health and not talk about sex. I can't be a midwife and not talk about sex. We are all here because of sex. We are born, we exist because one of our parents had sex. We are here because of sex. So, menstruation and sex, sexual appeal, sexual, compatibility during menstruation is a very controversial topic as well. And I would like to dive into it because it is very important to understand certain things. It is very important to know that these things happen. One of us or any of you could feel like maybe sex during menstruation, but let me tell you, it is something that is done. It is actually menstruation and sex are natural aspects of life, but they can interact in different ways depending on, one's preferences, one's health, and maybe some cultural attitudes. Because some people can have, like this person has said, their boyfriend doesn't mind it. Like I have a feeling we had not dived further into personal questions and all, but I should assume that the boyfriend doesn't mind it or has had it before, or maybe then for some people it could feel like it is something unheard of. It could feel like a taboo or anything. So it is, you can interact on this conversation, depending on who you are, what you feel about this. But it is not something, like I said, I am not one to dispel information. I am not one to dispel things and say, no, we don't do that. I am against any form of stigma. And I feel like for someone to send such a DM, they really, 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 really want information and want, that assurance that, yeah, it's okay. And trust me, you do you, boo. It is fine. I mean, as long as you consider certain things and make sure that, some things are in check, as we are going to see. So, like we discussed last time, menstruation is the regular, discharge of blood and tissue from the inner lining of the uterus. So, kubeera mu mwezi, kugenda mu nsonga, kitegeera. Tukimanyi nti omukyala abeera avaamu omusaayi buli mwezi nga guvaamu. So this question is more related to, are you able to have sex ng'ovaamu omusaayi? Ate men, they know these things. Women be in their periods, they are asking for sex. They want to they don't care, or they are feeling the moment. So, and even women, some women get a very high sexual urge during their menstruation periods, in their menses, when they're in their menses. Some don't. Some actually they feel like they could kill someone if they touch them. So it all varies individual-wise. So let's dive through and maybe understand a few things, and then maybe we shall have an answer for our girl here. So, typically menstruation occurs once a month. You get. You know that the cycle, like we discussed last time, the cycle is regulated by these hormones, especially estrogen and progesterone. Like I discussed, estrogen is our woman hormone, the one that drives our sexual drive, the one that makes us feel like women, like how we should feel. But like I said, during menstruation it goes down, but I'll explain it more. So when you're in your periods, to have sex, it's a personal choice. Trust me, and many couples engage in it without any issues. But like I've said, there are so many things to consider. One is like health considerations. Trust me, for the highest percentage, it is very safe, very, very safe to have sex during menstruation, because like we discussed before, if you look at our menstrual phase, it is during the menstrual phase we are in our unfertile period, or in our safe days. So it is very okay if you're maybe trying to avoid pregnancy and all that. So it is very safe to have menstruation. But I would personally recommend that maybe you use condoms, because you could get infections. Blood, this is blood. There are risks of transmitting STIs, certain diseases like hepatitis B. If you know how hepatitis B is transmitted, it is transmitted through bodily fluids, and blood is one of them. So if you are to have sex during menstruation, it is very important to consider: is your partner safe? Are you all safe from hepatitis B, HIV, because this is blood, and maybe you could get in contact with it and then have these STIs transmitted to you. But bear in mind that for some people, they have like they have scanty bleeding during their periods. They have bleeding, because when we talk about menstruation and bleeding, people think tulinga ube batemye ntuvamo musai, like blood is running through us. No, it is not the case. For some people, they have scanty and like very small amounts of blood coming out of them, and they are able to after washing themselves and during the act, blood will not come out, and life goes on. So as long as you have considered like such a health situation and what, you go ahead. And also, some women may be prone to like yeast infections or bacterial infections during menstruation, because during menstruation we have our vagina. Ladies, I am talking about sex, so I have talked about vaginas and everything. Men, vagina. So our vagina is acidic in nature. In nature, I will discuss it at some point, but we have pH levels at which our vagina lives. So during menstruation, there is a tendency for the pH to change, and when it changes, it puts a woman at risk of having like yeast infections, because some bacteria they don't live under acidic or alkaline conditions. So when this happens, and maybe you've had this intercourse, maybe towards the last day, and the pH has already reduced, so you find like maybe this person already had a vaginal situation or vaginal infection going on, so you are prone to that, so you may get an infection from that. So the health condition is one of the considerations that I would advise you to look at before you engage in such, because other than that, you're good to go. Then also pregnancy, like we said, you cannot rule out pregnancy until you have the next period. When you've had your next this very period, we know that we've started a new cycle. And in certain irregular or in abnormal situations, you can see your period. You can see your period, but then there is a release of another ova immediately. We can always look at that in abnormal menstrual cycles. And when this happens, you could have sex knowing that you're very safe, but when there has been a double release of an ova and it is still in the what, and then your sperm can fertilize, and menstruation, whatever, no, pregnancy happens. So that's why I'm saying it is very important to use like protection, like condoms, so that you rule out any possibilities of anything. So also certain things to consider is comfort and preferences. I'm sure my friend here who has sent this message, maybe she's uncomfortable, but maybe she wants to what, to please the husband or the boyfriend. So, but for some women, yeah, during menstruation, they actually they experience an increased sexual desire. They have high libido, and this is due to hormonal fluctuations. Like we said, there is a tendency of estrogen lowering, but as women, we also have a certain level of testosterone hormone. Testosterone hormone is a male hormone yefuula omusajja naye naffe abakyala tukayinamu katini bwe kati when this estrogen yaffe ffe y'abakyala bwekendeera kati kikyamula testosterone. It makes testosterone to increase. So when it increases, now this is a male hormone which can dominate and make someone have their sexual desire increase, libido increase. So in certain preferences, when this happens, a woman can even approach a guy by themselves and ask for sex themselves. And so you cannot blame them. This is how they feel, and if they have someone who is okay with that, it is very okay. So certain discomforts can also bring about things that can, like, maybe some people experience a lot of cramps, bloating, and this may make sex less appealing for people. But for people who don't feel like that, for people who don't feel anything, they wouldn't have an issue with that. So there are also cultural, and some emotional factors that you could consider. Like I discussed last time, I thought there are certain cultures, there are certain myths, there are certain, maybe cultures, religions, that still look at menstruation as a taboo, and they believe that sex during menstruation is so highly inappropriate. But it is not actually, because like me, I would wish for everyone to look at menstruation as a part of life, as something that a woman goes through. It does not change anything about them. It just a little discomforts here and there, but it doesn't change how they do things. It doesn't change how they look. It doesn't change how they think. It doesn't change how they they carry themselves in life. But because some cultures look at it that way, it may not be okay for someone to have or be open about certain things like having sex during menstruation. But if it is something you are open about and able to discuss, I feel like it shouldn't be an issue at all. And this can only be possible if you have like open communication with your partner, to ensure that both of you are very comfortable with it. Like, if you, like this message said, the boyfriend is not, is okay, he doesn't mind it, you get. So meaning the girl is the one with an issue with it. She's considering it, but she doesn't know how to approach it. So it's very important to like communicate now with his partners. Like, are you okay? Is it okay if like maybe we use condoms? Is it okay if maybe we wait like on my third day of the period, when maybe I don't have a much flow, or I have a very heavy flow? I don't think it would be okay. Or some people are just caring about the mess they create in the bed, and some people are actually okay, because especially people who are dry, who use a lot of lubricants like KY and stuff. At this moment, it's when they feel like they are, like they are wet. They feel as if when they are there, tagera change ogerako. So for some people, especially people who use lubricants during their sexual intercourse, they find it okay to have sex during menstruation because they feel wet, they feel empowered, and this is one of the benefits. There are so many benefits actually for having sex during menstruation. And some women report that during sex, when they had sex during their period, it helped them to relieve like menstrual cramps because of the endorphins during orgasm. When we orgasm, when anyone, a woman, a man releases or finishes or orgasms after sex, there are those feel-good hormones that are released. And these endorphins, they even reach the uterus and helps it to contract and push everything out, and then they relax, because some women are just very uncomfortable during their periods because of the cramps. The cramps are killing them. Everything is feeling bad. But when this release happens, it makes them feel good, they feel relaxed, and that is a benefit. You might find what a woman wants at that moment when they're in their period is for them to orgasm, is for them to finish, and that's all they need for themselves. So it is one of the benefits for to help in the cramps. But there are certain drawbacks as well. Some people, it can be messier and they don't want that. I myself am like I wouldn't want such a mess, but I am very open to something like that. So it, due to the presence of the menstrual blood, it can get very messy. But then it can be managed by using towels or opting for less messy positions. Guys, there are so many positions. Now, when we think about sex, we think about missionary, think about, woman on top, what. But there are so many positions where, a person can be in and they don't get so messy. So ultimately, all this is about personal comfort, for you to feel like you're comfortable, you are open to it, and like there shouldn't be pressure for you because the message said, other people have said it's okay, because someone said it's okay for you to do that, and then you feel like it's okay as well. No, if you feel it's not okay, you're not comfortable with it, it is very understandable. Some feel like they can't talk about it because there is still this stigma about menstruation, which I would like to cut like this, because it is here. Every woman goes through menstruation, unless if there's any reproductive health issues. So it is not something we should shun about, you get. And as long as you keep, healthy sexual practices, safe practices, if you've had, checked with your partner, you don't have HIV, both of you don't have, you don't have any hepatitis B, hepatitis C, you don't have any bacterial vaginal infections, why not? Why not? So I still maintain that hormones play a key role in sexual desire. The only issue might be that maybe at times when you are having your menstruation, when you're during your periods, you always feel low. And the way hormones work is they will play a key role, and they will determine how your body responds to sex throughout the menstrual cycle, so, and including menstruation. So you might find like during the when I discuss the safe days, I will show you even how like the cervical mucus changes when like during the stages of the menstrual cycle. You find that at the during menstruation, of course, like I said, the estrogen levels are low, the luteinizing hormone has lowered, the progesterone levels have lowered. So you don't have something supporting your body. So it might respond that way. It might respond badly or in a very good way. So you might find for some people, because of that change and that surge, they have a very, a high sexual arousal. They have a very, so it depends on an individual. So if your hormones are acting up and you're not feeling well, it might play a very big role in the decision you make, because you'll be feeling like killing someone, like you don't even want someone to get close to you at all, because the hormones are low, everything is low, you don't want to see anything. So now, like when estrogen and progesterone levels are their lowest, it is very hard to get sexual arousal. But for some people, they can, because like I said, testosterone for some people can rise and increase the surge. And when these levels are low, this is when the body sheds, and the estrogen, especially in women, it reduces their sexual desire. So, and remember, estrogen is linked to vaginal lubrication and overall sexual desire. It is our hormone. So if you have already low estrogen levels and during menstruation they drop, you'll find that nothing. So hormones play a very, very big role in our sexual life, in the way we respond to sex, even not just during menstruation, but even throughout our, like our women, our clock it walks around the menstrual cycle. I would like to point out that our menstrual cycle is different from any normal calendar. So you will find that during the menstrual phase, this is when you get menstruation, the estrogen levels are low, everything is low, so the desire is very low. But during the follicular phase, when now the body has started rebuilding again and everything is coming up again, you find that things are coming up, things are getting better. It's actually during nearing ovulation, when the luteinizing level is rising and the estrogen levels are high. It's when you find a woman's sexual desire is up. Nga nomukyala ayagala kwekwatira omuntu, kitegeera. So nga ekintu kitabuse nga hormones zeyongedde. So hormones play a key role, but women still experience an increase in libido during their periods. So it depends on an individual response and personal preferences, emotional comfort. If this man is treating you right, if this man is has talked to you in a nice way, you can even consider. So the relationship dynamics, what is happening in the relationship, sometimes you can even forget that you're in your periods and you find when things have happened. So there are so many things that can influence all this. So with this information, you can tell and decide if really you would be okay to have. But scientifically, it is very okay. It is very okay. Scientifically, it is very okay to have sexual intercourse during menstruation, because nothing is wrong with it. So I hope we learned something in this video. I thank you for being here, for watching, for being with me all the way. This is Musawo Moomo. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, DM me for any questions, for any if you want to add anything, if for any information, I'll be very happy to to answer any of the questions. I'll be happy to interact with you. Thank you all. Bye.